I don't know what the fuck that was, dude. I don't know what the fuck that was.
I couldn't tell if it was beginning or ending, or the hell was I listening to, man?
I was hoping it was the end of my life. That's all I know. Jesus Christ. This is what you fucking LGBTQs are listening to? Holy shit, no wonder y'all are depressed.
Oh, man. I'm getting a little echo there. What's going on here? Oh,
Sorry about that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That was absolutely Billie Eilish.
How did you know? Oh my god,
very
dude, you're coming out of the closet this month. I swear to God. How did you know that's Billie Eilish?
I am with a young lady who I've been with for many, many years now, and because of her, I am hip to the scene and listen to all the pop music. Okay. I throw on, when we're chilling in the yard on the summer days, lounging in the kiddie pool, soaking up the sun, playing some bags, I always throw on the summer hits on Spotify, and it always plays the modern jams, man. That's why I know what's out there.
So I gotta ask you, because I did not look this up.
I didn't know she was a lesbo, though.
Oh, damn. Okay, really?
She was big on wearing the baggy clothes and hiding the fact that she was bosomy and had some large Tetons, and then all of a sudden she became famous and started wearing very sexualized, revealing clothing, and she's a larger female, but not not Lizzo.
Damn it, you're right. Oh, see, okay,
not Lizzo larger, but she's curvy, and she,
yeah.
Is she a lesbian chick? I wasn't sure, though. I could see it.
Yeah, no, I was wrong. Okay, because here's what happened was I just YouTubed like modern singers.
That's right, man.
I saw Billie Eilish, and I was like, well, she's been in the news. I've heard her name in the news, and I've never heard a song, so I assumed she was in the news for LGBTQ. Like coming out of the closet or whatever.
Yeah, man.
But I guess I was wrong. She is straight, but has a huge LGBTQ following.
Really? That's kind of weird. All right. I bet you maybe she swings a little lesbo action once in a while, right? Kind of gives that vibe off. Could see that.
Yeah, dude. She definitely got some daddy issues. She'll fuck anybody.
So she's partnered up with her brother. His name is Phineas, if I recall.
No!
Yes, look it up. It's very weird. They have a strange...
Her brother's black?
Hey now, I didn't say Phil Stovius, or Phil Stavius. Philanthropist?
Did you say brother or brother?
That's right, dude. There's a hard R there. So they do it together, and he's like the producer, but they always pose in these very almost weirdly incestual kind of, like, why are you guys that close? And it's almost sexual way, but your brother and sister supposedly, I almost think it's a lie maybe, or I don't know what's going on. They're kind of weird. So they might be part of the, we're making it hip to brother and sister love.
You think so?
No, but Emma would always tell me, she'd always like show me this picture of them at like a award show and be like, isn't that kind of weird how they're standing next to each other? And I would be like, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I don't know. Is it weird how I have no idea how to judge that, People standing
I always
next to
say
each
I
other.
grew up with two brothers, so anybody like within 2 feet of a sibling seems weird to me. So, like, you know what I mean?
For
But
brothers, you just start punching each other, twisting each other's nipples, and fighting, And
no, I don't want to be
battle.
within arm's reach of either one of you.
If I can hit you, I'm going to hit you, and then we're going to start fighting.
The nut shot, the nut tap, like anything can happen. I don't want to be within arm's reach of you.
No, it's just
brothers and sisters are always like putting their arm around each other. It's
very
like,
affectionate. Yeah, you're a little questionable. So that's the whole jive, I guess, with Billie Eilish and her brother. And then, like I said, she was in the news a lot because she was all about body positivity and all that nonsense. Then, I don't know.
It's easy to be about body positivity when you're a short, skinny girl with big tits.
Yeah, when you have a huge rack, you got no problems, really.
It's like me if I was 5'7" and had a 9-inch dick, and I was like, "No, come on, guys, you just gotta love your body." What's the Wolverine's name? What was that guy?
Hugh Jackman?
No, the Wolverine guy, the porno guy.
Oh, the Hedgehog. You're
The
thinking
Hedgehog, yeah.
Sorry. You're thinking of Ron Jeremy, the Hedgehog.
Ron Jeremy. They should have made him the Wolverine. He's more of a Wolverine than Hugh Jackman.
Wow, he does look like the Wolverine. They should bring him in for
and you know where that fifth claw comes from. That's perfect. You have the one claw come out the pants, dude? That's perfect.
Ron Jeremy, famously, his dong so girthy and enormous that it was never fully hard. He couldn't get enough blood pumping to the organ itself.
No, that can't be true.
I believe that's well known
Frank,
about his...
that's one of those things that small dick guys tell themselves to make them feel better.
That's right.
Yeah, my dick's small, but I could get it hard. You know, I could get enough blood.
At least it's got all the blood, man.
Baby, what would you rather have? 3 inches hard or 9 inches flat? You know, 9 inches in between.
I like how he was called. I think it was the Hedgehog. I'm pretty sure that was his name.
Yeah, I think you're right. Wolverine was too.
No,
now he's in prison.
Yeah, he is in prison.
Poor guy.
It didn't end well for old Ron. I don't think it ever really ends well for the male porn stars. The chick porn stars, they like are Jenny McCarthy and get like nighttime talk shows on E! Entertainment.
1 out of a million. you can either become Jenny McCarthy or Stormy Daniels, and then other than that, they're all fucking.
Yeah, it's probably never a good ending for the porn career.
Oh no! Then you end up being you go from the teen to the MILF to the GILF. How much are you getting paid when you're the GILF?
Wow, is that what Stormy Daniels is doing now? I'm not too sure.
I'm assuming GILF porn. Yeah.
You know, Stormy Daniels is kind of a funny story in the sense that nobody would have known who she was outside of people who watch porn.
Yeah.
Unless this whole Donald Trump thing had happened.
Well, nobody ever talks about the interview she gave where she was like talking about so you don't I forgot what comedian it was. It was on one of their podcasts. Anyway, she really goes deep at how like she hit a certain age where that was it. Like they weren't really putting her in porn, you know? But guys like Donald Trump who saw her in a porno when they were like younger, you know?
Yes.
They would just pay 6 figures.
Yeah,
you know
man.
what I mean? Dude, if you're willing to pay $250,000 to go into the bottom of the ocean in a sub, holy shit, how much are you willing to pay your fucking childhood porn star fantasy, you know?
And in porn, I gotta say, because it was less accessible, more exciting back in the day.
Oh, dude, you had one video. You watched that.
That's
video.
right, man.
You know what I mean? Until it fucking couldn't play in the VCR anymore.
And when
even your fucking even your VHS was like, dude, come on.
And how many?
You've watched it enough.
How many real opportunities do you have the place to yourself to pop in a VHS porno and like dig into a porn, man? Not a lot of opportunity back in the day.
Dude, nowadays you kids have the phone in your pocket. Our TV was the furniture. And I had to wait till everybody was gone. You know what I mean? I could have just moved it into my room.
Man, the days of VHS porn. So there was a little more meaning to that porn star.
I was ripping on this kid who's 21. He's in my class. He was talking about how he got caught jerking off by his mom. And I was like, Dude, there is no excuse. Listen, we had one computer in the house connected to the internet. It was in the fucking living room, right? So when mom comes home unexpectedly, all right, man, you got caught jerking off. You can understand. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I still grew up on magazines, man. Like, we still had magazines when we were young guys. The young fellas these days, the ease at which they can just access porn, it's just not as, I don't know.
Why do you think Leonardo only fucks Playboy Victoria's Secret?
Yes.
Because he grew up with that fucking fantasy. You know, we all did.
And life, a little simpler that way, probably a little bit healthier that way. Do you
ever hear Shane Gillis, the comedian?
I'm familiar, but what was he riffing on?
He's a really funny guy, and he's like, dude, one of the things that gets me, he's like in tune with our life. Because he's like 30 years old, so in his 30s, you know?
Right
He
on.
like kind of grew up in the same life we kind of grew up.
80s
right?
and 90s, early 2000s.
Born in the 80s, grew up in middle class family, like in the suburbs. And he was talking about how like every kid thinks they're being slick, but like every mom knows their son is jerking off because they don't shower for 12 years. And then one day they just start coming home from school. They're like, yeah, I'm going to hit the shower. And it just becomes a daily routine.
Cleaning up. Oh, yeah.
So if you're a mom out there and your teenage boy is showering and he never did before, it's because he's jerking off in there.
I don't know, man. We just listened to that clip last episode where they're talking about how we're not producing as many kids, man. I mean, maybe, people aren't getting out there and getting as active. They got too much porn. They're jerking off too much, man. We got to cut the porn out, cut off the jerking off.
No, I think it's everybody keeps trying to pinpoint the one thing, but I think it's the combination of you literally made masculinity toxic.
Yes, absolutely.
And like a man, most good men I know are too afraid to just walk up to a girl and like ask them out because it's aggressive. You know what I mean? Like I've heard guys say that, like, no, that just seems really aggressive. And like, dude, that has been programmed into the brains of these men, And then you top that with like, okay, well, I don't want to be aggressive and go just, you know what I mean? I don't want to be that guy. And I can just sit at home and jerk off to this porn.
Yeah, there's this accessibility to it that makes it easy to just not engage women.
And women, it's your fault. I'm sorry. You guys have done this you took the Me Too movement way too far. The minute you guys went after Aziz Ansari,
yes,
that was every guy was like, "Holy shit, I'm toxic."
I always bring up Aziz Ansari because that was the most insane case, and it ruined the Me Too movement. It ended anyone's plausible, accusation of someone who raped
You put him on the level of Harvey Weinstein.
I know, and that's what.
So it's like, no. This is just an awkward guy who was trying to get laid. You know what I mean? We've all been there.
But you're also. I mean, the story was she was in his apartment, and they're like getting it on in the kitchen. Yeah. He
was just awkward and didn't really. You know what I mean? It was a bad lay. That's really what it was.
Yeah, and it's just you're trying to capitalize on a movement and make some money and ruin a guy's career who's probably a really good person and not Harvey Weinstein. And then maybe...
And then you equate him to the guy who was raping women for roles?
Well, maybe...
Like, dude, come on.
I've always thought that there was something weird about the Me Too movement and how it ultimately all led to getting, what's his name, out of the Senate?
Al Franken.
Al Franken, yes. There's like some element to the Me Too movement. We're like, we're going to build this until we can get Al Franken out of here and start our Agenda 2030 and World Economic Forum plan.
No. Al Franken has openly talked about it, that he was pressured by his own party because they really believed if he left, it would force Donald Trump to step down.
So ridiculous.
I know. Have you not met Donald Trump? I mean, Jesus Christ.
It's amazing that Me Too and all that wasn't really that long ago either. What a strange
experience. Funny how that died,
was.
Huh?
Well, again, when you started going after Aziz Ansari for getting an awkward BJ in his kitchen, then the table turned and no one believed anyone anymore, and we thought, okay, you're just going after famous people for name recognition and some fucking money.
Well, plus, what's her name, Tara Reid, and like the other girls, they're trying to go after Joe Biden. They keep trying to go out like he raped women. Yeah. Joe Biden definitely raped women.
There's a lot involved with Joe Biden. That's why I love the Hunter case, and I love the news stories about it. And we could do it in a little bit, but I love that you're talking Biden because I have a close-to-home Biden clip here. I don't know if you were following it or not, but Biden last week got impeached.
A Republican congresswoman has called for the House to take on impeachment of US President Joe Biden, but her request has left some of her colleagues unimpressed.
Depending on your viewpoint, President Biden could be staring at an impeachment investigation, or this could shelve an impeachment effort driven by the most conservative voices in the House.
This impeachment inquiry is something that the American people are demanding.
Colorado Republican Lauren Boebert accused her GOP colleagues of dithering, talking a good game about impeachment with no action.
I was tired of politicians telling us something that we wanted to hear back home, getting to where we send them and trust them to be our voice and doing something completely different.
Boebert circumvented GOP leaders crafting a special resolution to compel the House to consider impeachment articles with no committee hearings or investigation. House Speaker Kevin McCarthy was not impressed.
Anytime you take something this serious, you don't just flippantly put something on the floor.
Some Republicans accuse Boebert of cheapening impeachment.
We can't turn impeachment into the equivalent of a vote of no confidence in the British Parliament.
Conservatives could torch McCarthy and Republicans if they killed Boebert's measure, but impeachment may be too extreme for some Republicans. So McCarthy decided the House would vote to refer Boebert's impeachment gambit to the Judiciary and Homeland Security Committees for investigation.
Who knows what else we're going to find? I mean, I've already cited 11 laws that have been violated, 2 court orders that have been defied.
There are also efforts to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, FBI Director Christopher Wray, and Attorney General Merrick Garland.
They are trying to out-MAGA and out-extreme each other by pushing measures to impeach, expel,
I love how MAGA became
censure,
a verb.
Whatever language
absolutely.
they'd like to use.
Lauren Boebert says if she doesn't see action, she'll compel an impeachment vote later this year.
All right, I really mean this. Lauren Boebert, stop.
Yeah.
You're making a circus out of our institutions. Just take the high road. For the love of God, can one side just take the high road and stop the circus for 5 seconds?
That's the best way to go. I haven't heard that yet. That's what my biggest take the high road. There's a reason the other Republicans aren't impeaching Biden. I get he's impeachable.
Yes.
The whole point is you could find a reason to impeach any president. Let's just
absolutely. No, you need to do some dirty things to get the highest office. There's no doubt about it. Just seriously, can one side step up and be the adults in the room for once?
Remember when you guys said you were the adults? The adults are finally in charge. You know what I mean?
That was the Democrats, I think.
Oh, that was the Democrats.
Yeah. And then they checked off every box and hired a clown.
Full disclosure, I picked up this
infused
joint this morning. So I'm smoking that infused joint right now.
Don't you remember Biden ran on being bringing the
great
adults.
Moderator.
The uniter, and they were going to be the adults, and then they brought
the uniter in chief.
Remember their nuclear guy? He's the dude who put on lipstick and dresses and stole people's luggage from the airports, and then
that's right.
They brought in KGP.
Sam Brinton.
Sam Brinton. Yeah, so the adults are there. They're making things happen.
What a great clip! Yeah.
No, I really find this to be so silly and dumb, and just stop. Okay, I think the American people are tired of it. The 2 impeachments, nobody even remembers what the second one was for. Oh, what was that?
No. No. Dude, oh my God, it's incredible. And you guys are not convincing anybody. Lauren Boebert, you're not going to convince anybody on the left. All you people arresting Trump, you're not going to convince anybody on the right.
Exactly.
I'm kind of glad you brought this up, dude. I have a great clip from Pod Save America.
Yes, I love Pod Save America, man.
Frank, they're talking about Trump's numbers. This is from, I think Friday or Thursday.
Oh, yeah.
I think Friday. You could hear the disappointment in their voice. You know what I mean? And Lauren Boebert, you're the same as these people.
I can't stand her. Stop with this stuff, man. I can't
We don't
stand
need the extremes.
No, we don't.
Right?
We're tired of it, man.
Listen to these guys from Pod Save America. You ready for this?
Can't wait. Got a little
dramatically impacted Trump's chances of winning.
Fuck, I forgot about the volume. Let me
start it from the beginning, my man. I gotta get the whole meat on all of this bone. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think there is very little evidence to date that the indictment has dramatically impacted Trump's chances of winning the nomination.
Wow.
That CNN poll shows maybe there's a possible opening, but it still shows him beating Ron DeSantis by 21 points, which is a lot of points.
A lot of points.
And there's a Yahoo News poll out today which shows that Trump's approval rating is 79% among Republicans, which is unchanged from January, continues to hold a big lead in all polls. If you want to look for some possible signs of weakening, there's also a Quinnipiac poll out today, real poll palooza out here, but that shows that 79% of Republicans think that it would be a serious problem if someone showed classified information to someone who did not have a top secret clearance.
Boy, do we get news for them.
Yeah, wait till they read the indictment. And so it could be, if that becomes something that is proven in court, then yes. The big thing about Trump and these polls in the indictment is I don't think we should expect that the mere fact of the indictment is going to hurt Trump. He is framed on his terms. It's something like less than 20% of Republicans in the Yahoo poll thinks he should be prosecuted for these crimes. Most people think he didn't do very much wrong. It will be if the full weight of all of the indictments and all of the images of him getting arrested, getting arraigned, sitting at a defense table add up to change the electability equation for Republicans. Maybe that will change. But right now, he's sitting pretty strong in the Republican primary for a man just charged with 37 felony counts related to violations of the Espionage Act.
I knew you would love that, dude.
They aren't hearing the words coming out of their mouth. Like, you guys are pursuing an absolute circus, and the American people don't care anymore. They're not watching. They don't.
Did you hear?
They're not
okay,
interested.
so pretty much, let me wrap this up for you. He pretty much said, "Well, nobody cares about the 37 federal indictments.
I know.
Maybe if we add everything up together, what's all the pictures of him getting arrested? Like, dude, nobody cares. Nobody wants the witch hunt. This goes for you guys at Democracy Now! This goes for Lauren Boebert. Nobody is looking for the witch hunt."
Yeah,
right?
Lauren Boebert, I see no bills being pushed through our local congressional hearings about fixing our frickin' roads, man. You're busy with all this bullshit in Washington. Come back home and deal with stuff here, because we got some serious problems in Colorado. No one's keeping the jackass Jared Polis in check.
Yeah, but not only that, dude, you gotta look. Republicans, please look at what they did to Trump and take note.
Yes.
Pod Save America is crying because they don't know what happened. They did the witch hunt, and it didn't help them.
We crucified this guy, and now he's a martyr. What happened?
What happened?
We don't understand.
You just nailed it. That's what I'm doing. So don't do the same thing to Joe Biden. You know?
It's almost like there isn't a 2,000-year-old text that taught us something about doing this to martyring a man who symbolizes something.
Like, they don't realize, like, Amy Goodman doesn't realize, every time she announces Trump as the twice impeached, 3 times indicted, it just takes away from what that means.
Yeah,
you know, impeachment
totally
used
agree.
to mean something.
Yeah, not anymore, right?
No.
Speaking of meaning, too, what I caught on with that clip, in which it does a lot of disservice to just the sincerity and maybe even the seriousness of what they were trying to convey. They kept saying Yahoo poll. It sounds like nutjob poll. Right?
Oh,
like,
yeah, dude.
Yahoo?
Every poll they mentioned was fucking super liberal.
They said several times Yahoo poll, and Yahoo, in my mind, means like a nut job, like a crazy guy. Yahoo, hey, that Yahoo over there. They kept saying, hey, the Yahoo poll. Like, keep referencing some crazy nut job poll. What is this crazy poll? The Yahoo poll? That's not a good poll. Don't reference the Yahoo poll.
Did you hear about Frank's poll? Yeah, he's a Yahoo.
Yeah, that guy's a Yahoo. And they're sitting here like referencing the Yahoo poll. I'm like, that doesn't sound.
It's in the name. It's like Country Crock.
It's
in the fucking name. It's a crock.
It's no Rasmussen. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do the Rasmussen poll, I'm listening. You're doing the Yahoo poll, I'm gonna skip over. All right, I'm gonna go check out the other guy.
On the other hand, whatever happened to Yahoo Pool? That was the best online poll you could ever play.
You know what I miss are the Yahoo commercials from back in the day where
Yahoo.
Yeah. Do you Yahoo? You remember that? Do you Yahoo? Yeah, man. Yahoo. Yeah.
Commercials used to be great, dude. Yeah.
If you want to put your
simpler time.
Well, here, if you want to put your finger on the pulse of society, turn on the tube, check out a few commercials during one of the local sporting events. You'll understand everything you need to know about where we're at. I tell you what.
I don't mean to jump into another one so quick, man, but if you want to know where we're at, New York can't even sell weed. That's how bad these Democrats are failing. You ready for this?
Oh yeah, I'm on the edge of my seat.
New York State is not seeing the windfall that it had hoped for when it legalized recreational sales of marijuana in December of last year. The Empire State is not even projected to raise a predicted $56 million in taxes this year as illegal sales continue to flourish. Here to discuss is Daily Wire contributor David Marcus. Hey, Dave, what's going on here? Selling drugs is generally known as a pretty profitable business. What exactly is New York getting wrong?
Yeah, morning. It certainly is. And the answer is really everything. The huge mistake was basically decriminalizing the sale of weed before setting up the licensing system that allowed just a handful of stores to open in December. In the meantime, thousands of stores, many of which are what in New York City are called bodegas, just started selling weed. Right? Yeah! New Yorkers got used to it, and none of that money is taxed. Now the state is in a position where it has to crack down on these unlicensed sellers, when one of the biggest reasons for legalization was to keep police from arresting people for selling marijuana.
Yeah.
The whole thing just went up in smoke, so to speak.
I see what you did there. How did this happen? Other states have managed this successfully. Why are there so few licensed cannabis shops in New York?
Yeah, this is where critics point to what they call the woke element of New York's legal marijuana regime. The state decided that licenses should only go to people who had previously been convicted on marijuana charges as a kind of reparations for those arrests. So instead of a straightforward regulatory scheme where anyone could invest in a store, it became a nightmare of applications and deciding who had been oppressed enough to qualify. Ultimately, after more than a year, only about a dozen legal shops were able to open.
I knew you would love it.
Only a dozen. Dude,
I knew you would love it, dude.
Doing the same shit here. That's so funny, man.
Dude.
Oh, wow.
So in your attempt to make it so that you wouldn't arrest people for weed charges, you are now going to have to arrest people for weed charges to enforce your new laws and get people to start. Dude, this sums up why all Democratic policies fucking fail. Right?
I love the mention of the bodega. I was just thinking of Half Baked, where he's like, they never remember you, and then he has to like turn around and show his ass.
You always have to do something extreme.
Yeah, black ass! Why didn't you moon us before? Such a great scene, dude.
Oh, God. I gotta tell you, man. This just raised my level of respect for the New Yorker. You know what I mean? A fucking New York, man. I wish Chicago could take some notes from you.
You know what? Grow your own, folks. I started growing my own here. I'm getting big time into the have your own supply, man. The regulations here in Colorado are so extreme that these grows now are essentially like just washing their weed with chemicals to make it non-moldy and pass all these extreme tests. It's absurd at this point. You just can't find weed.
It's sterilized. It's medicine.
Yes. I saw an article in the Westward a few weeks ago, and the title of the article was, "Why does my weed not smell like weed?" And then it went on to describe why it doesn't taste or smell like weed anymore, because they have to scrub it with all this stuff to make sure it passes the test, man. What a shitty industry, dude. This is what happens when you overregulate and overtax.
But how do you like that fucking... They can't open up enough stores because they decided you have to be oppressed to open up a store. They can't figure out who's more oppressed.
That was my favorite part.
This whole thing is like, you guys just suck at life, man.
Who is more oppressed? Who's more of a victim? What a sad state of affairs there in New York. And you can't understand why you have these strips of ghost stores and vacant lots. Look at San Francisco. Chicago's got the same thing. Denver, no different, man. People don't want to move in. They don't want to open businesses. You've overtaxed and overregulated to the point. And then here in Colorado, dude, they offer $10,000 to anyone who's black who wants to open a dispensary.
Plus, you guys failed to realize, like, I was kind of a guy who always smoked weed in my life, and I'm also the kind of guy that just hates the government. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want your government in my weed.
Hell yeah, that is a great call, man.
And most people are like that. They were smoking before, you know?
Yeah.
So then you come in and you're like, oh, it's 40% tax. Fuck that, dude. I'm just going to find somebody that'll give it to me.
I work with a guy, he came into... he was a little late because of traffic. We've been having a lot of issues with people, like, not getting into accidents, but, like, hitting the gigantic grave-sized potholes and sinkholes in Colorado that they're just not fixing. They had to literally pull an upside-down Jeep out of a sinkhole on one of the major roads here this weekend. Not making that up. That's literally what happened there. Those are our roads. And
Yeah. But hold on, though. I'm sure the guy who flipped over into that hole was reassured by the fact that the government is spending its money on flying in teens for abortion.
He actually opened his phone and got a Twitter notice that said Jared Polis signed a new inclusivity bill for trans black people to open dispensaries. Yeah, he was very excited for them. Very excited. Thanks, Jared. Looking out for the common man.
taking care of the things that really matter to the everyday citizen.
As he's upside down in a sinkhole. Fuck it. That's Colorado, folks. Like, wake up.
Wait a minute. Before you take my Jeep out of this sinkhole, are we allowing immigrants into the city?
We have migrants? Perfect. Check.
All right.
Do we have the third largest pride parade in the country? Perfect. Check.
Perfect. Okay.
Another box.
All right. Because the third thing on my mind was my Jeep in this hole.
So I got a bunch of fellas that work for us and with us, and they are a bit younger than myself, and slowly, near your 20s, you start to slowly wake up to the realities of the world and the government and taxation and kind of how, you're paying all this money into the system and nothing seems to get fixed or changed for the better. And he turns around to me after having to struggle through some traffic because of a pothole situation, and he says, hey, you ever notice that we keep, paying all these taxes and they don't fix the roads? And I said, yeah. I said I think about it every single day.
I kind of started a podcast about it where I bitch about it for 6 hours a week.
So I can vocally complain about Jared Polis into a microphone, scream into the void, and bitch about this asshole spending no money fixing our roads. Yeah, I'm very aware, my man. I think about it every single day.
Did you know he took some of that money inside a contract to Cloud Seed?
And did you know that
not only is he not fixing the road, he's paying for the rain that's ruining the road. Think about that!
5.38 inches of rain in the month of June. It is the number one on historical record rainiest month of June ever in Colorado, and they just don't know why. Can't explain it why. Although you could go check out Good Morning America from a month ago, and they said, hey, check out these planes we fly over and seed your clouds and create rain.
Pretty they even had the video. 2 of them flew out of Michael Strahan's teeth.
You can't get a wider runway in America, my man.
I love you, Michael.
Oh, man. Well, they got a cloud seed. It's because of climate change, I assume. That's what they're all saying. And because of climate change, you have all these destructive groups hitting the scene. And one of them is Earth Uprising. And you may be familiar with them, Mike. I'm sure you've seen some of their
I've never heard of this.
Nonsense.
I cannot wait for this. I'm like excited for this one.
You've seen some of their antics. These are the goofballs who throw the can of tomato sauce onto the Monet, or they,
fuck these people.
Glue their hands to the road and stop traffic. That's these goofballs. They've been very destructive in Paris.
The people who have never created anything in their life that go around destroying creations from hundreds of years ago.
Some of the most beautiful art.
Yeah.
From minds far greater than they could ever imagine being.
Ever fathom.
Yes, dude. So Earth Uprising, which
dude, can I tell you about the plumbing?
Yeah.
That's a distraction.
Are you sure? We could roll plumbing and then do Earth Uprising.
Dude, it's kind of like a life lesson I learned from plumbing.
Oh, I'm all in, man.
Man, so I've been really trying to focus on like anybody could cut that pipe to the right length and whatever, make everything flow. It's fun, But dude, I'm really trying to focus on like the minute details. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
So like I put it in 2 check valves, side by side on different lines, and I'm trying to make sure that they're level with each other. And then even like when I put them in, that the arrows are facing straight, so you could come up, you could you could automatically see the flow of the water, everything's straight,
Oh yeah.
And then like as I'm done with it, I marked everything. I like tried to make it as perfect as I could. I looked at it and I was like so happy with the way it looked. And then I realized like within a week of being done, these guys are gonna come in, insulate all the pipes, everything. Nobody will see it.
That's right.
If I do it right. If I do my job right, nobody will see it until I am no longer a plumber. It'll be 30 years, And there's something about just like, I'm not doing it because the world is going to see it. I want the world to see it. You know what I mean? But I have opened up walls countless times. Especially older buildings. I'll open up a wall to like expose the plumbing. And you just have to take like a minute to just look at it and be like, wow, whoever did this really took the time, the skill. I noticed the little details they did to position everything right,
Yeah, you can appreciate the craftsmanship behind something that time has preserved.
Not only that, it's just like, this guy did it and he knew nobody would see it. He's probably dead. And he died and nobody saw it until I came along and exposed it.
Yeah.
And then when I put it in, I think about like, nobody will notice. If I'm lucky, nobody will see it for 30 years. And even if that guy sees it in 30 years, he probably won't even appreciate it. He's just going to cut it out, throw it out. Nobody will even notice.
Yes.
But like, I think it just goes to life. And one thing I've learned in life is the times when nobody's looking and nobody will see what you're doing, those are the most important. Those are the times that define you.
Or maybe
right?
Those are the times that have pushed our society forward.
I think as an individual, those are the times that define you and who you really are. Are you going to do the right thing? Are you going to care about the little details, even though nobody will ever see it?
Absolutely.
Or you're the kind of guy that's just going to say, fuck it, throw it in, nobody will see it. You know what I mean? It's like,
for sure. I was actually
do it for yourself, not for the praise and the accolades.
Interesting. You were explaining the process of crafting piping and doing it precise in a way that will, throughout time could stand, and then only decades later will be revealed the precision, the craftsmanship, the artwork, but the beauty behind it. That is an incredible idea, and I was actually micro-focusing that theory into going to a deli and getting a sandwich where the prosciutto is sliced so thin you can almost see through it. Like everything is perfectly crafted and placed on that sandwich. The perfect amount of lettuce, the dressing just not too much so that it's soaking. It's just enough to flavor the greens, and everything is just cut right. And you just bite into that sandwich and you devour it. Right, the guy who eats it devours the sandwich, never truly actually even taking the time to appreciate all the effort, all the painstaking detail that went into making it, and it'll be forgotten just in moments, right? But to even those craftsmen out there to put it together, that beautiful sandwich or cheeseburger or whatever, to put in the time and effort and the detail to make it perfect, even for it to be forgotten in a moment.
Frank, anybody could make a sandwich. I can make a sandwich. But I don't even know what details you're talking. That's a profession.
Absolutely, and I just think it's funny how you could be focused on detail for something that'll last 100 years or something that'll last 100 seconds. But I have respect for everyone who's a professional.
I would argue that sandwich is going to go into somebody that could last 100 years.
Touche, sir. Quite philosophical, I must say, and I'm a huge fan. And look, when it comes to craftsmanship and appreciating it, we need the modern folk and the young people out there to get a little more appreciation, especially the Greta Thunbergs of the world.
Sorry, you gotta hear this.
No, but I was able to segue back, man. I like it because these people do not appreciate fine craftsmanship or artwork or creativity. And the Earth Uprising people who are fighting against climate change, I guess. I still don't understand the I'm going to glue my hand to the road because we're fighting climate change.
Oh, dude, if you stop me in traffic, I'm running you over. Get the fuck out of
here. You're basically roadkill at this point.
Notice how you've never seen one of those in Chicago.
That's right.
Try it. Fucking try it.
Yeah, dude.
I got an hour and a half without your fucking dumbass gluing your hand to the... Dude, get the fuck out of here. I swear to fucking God, I wish one of you would try it.
So I'm going to warn everyone. I hope you have a tall glass of water right next to you and handy. We are going to drop some Amy Goodman on you. She's quite thirsty. And this is the ban of...
Is this a Amy Goodman with a Greta Thunberg?
Yes, and not only that, Mike. This is...
Dude, that means I need the glass of water with that nine-tail cat whip, so I could whip myself in the back for Greta while quenching my thirst from fucking Amy Goodman sucking the moisture out of the air.
How dare you? So we got Amy Goodman, we got Greta Thunberg, and then I went for the trifecta. This is the holy grail for you, Mike. We're talking France. Yeah!
Oh my God.
We went all in on this one, folks.
The government of France has ordered the shutdown of the direct action environmental group Earth Uprising, wielding powers it previously used to outlaw far-right movements.
Oh, I'm actually on board with the
French Interior Minister accused Earth Uprising of carrying out eco-terrorism at several recent high-profile protests. The group responded in a statement, quote, "Trying to silence Earth Uprising is a vain attempt to break the thermometer instead of worrying about the temperature," unquote. The crackdown drew criticism
What does that even mean, bitch?
Means nothing, dude.
What does that even mean, dude?
Absolutely meaningless, man. It's so funny, man. These people, who are you fighting against? Their movement makes no sense.
When you talk to me like I'm illiterate. I never read your poem.
So this weekend was the 5-year anniversary of a tweet that Greta Thunberg sent out saying we had only 5 years until we were all going to die from climate change.
I know. That's because she was like 15 at the time, so 5 years was 33% of her life. It seemed like forever.
And when you're 15, you're easily convinced of doom and gloom or whatever. Your brain.
And she's autistic.
She's got
Down syndrome or something.
She's got something. Fetal alcohol syndrome.
I tell you what, you put a set of tits on her, she looks like that one Down syndrome model that they had the other.
And it's okay to say because she's an adult now.
They're all 18. I'm just saying. No. Before August 3rd, 2022, she was a hero.
That's right, man.
Now she's just like that. I won't say it.
Well, she's got...
Let's finish this clip.
She's been taken advantage of. There's no doubt about it, but yeah, this...
The temperature, unquote. The crackdown drew criticism from Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg, who spoke...
Did you catch that?
What the fuck? Is she from Kiev? I mean, are we just changing names now? Yo, Frank, I go by Michelle, just so you know. What the fuck is going on here?
It's the whole reason I clipped this. I'm not...
Did you just change your name?
What the fuck? Greta Thunberg. Thunberg.
Don't tell me you guys just fucking Sergeant Teal'd this thing, man.
Yeah, we are in... Crazy. Wait, what happened to Turkey? Remember Turkey?
Oh, yeah, dude.
For 3 seconds, it was Turkey in Kyiv.
Did I ever tell you about my platoon leader, Sergeant Teal? Dude, his last name was spelled Thiel. Right?
Oh, yeah.
It was the greatest sergeant I ever had in my life. Dude, I remember, he's a staff sergeant. I remember my first day, fresh out of basic training and everything. That was go to my first unit. They're like, you're going to be working for Sergeant Teal. He looked at me and he goes, what the fuck you doing here? And I was so nervous, and he just started laughing. He goes, I'm just kidding. Listen, kid, once I get my head out of my ass, I'll figure out what to do with you. Go hang out over there. And like, I knew I was good after that, right?
Oh, yeah.
He was the greatest NCO the Army ever saw. But he would have to give his report every morning to the first sergeant.
That's right.
And whenever his report was wrong, the first sergeant would always be like, would start correcting him on it. And anytime he would start, he'd be like, Staff Sergeant Thiel, I do not believe that is correct. And his response was always, it's Staff Sergeant Teal.
Wow.
So like whatever the first sergeant said, he would switch it. I'm not even joking, dude. It was an Abbott and Costello skit.
That's beautiful.
So like the next week, he'd be like, all right, Sergeant Teal, I don't believe that is correct. We're going to have to talk about this afterwards. He'd be like, First Sergeant, it's Thiel.
This guy's a joker. It's amazing he lasted that long.
What's up?
Oh, nothing. That's hilarious, man.
Yeah, he did not do very good.
Okay,
but
well, there you go. That's
the men loved him. The men loved him.
It didn't last though. And
but that's literally what they're doing here, dude.
Oh, the elite are always messing with the words to mess with our heads. That's why it was Kiev and no longer Kiev, and that's why it's Turkey and then Turkey and then back to Turkey or whatever it is, and that's why for 20 years it was Greta Thunberg, how dare you, and now it's Thunberg or whatever she's trying to say.
Is it Thunberry?
I'm getting Thunberry now, but
isn't that family that would travel around? It was that cartoon. They would go around the world in their like little RV.
I think that was the Thornberries.
Good call. You're right.
All right, well, let's hear it from Thunberry. I can't. The whole reason I clipped this is because of how she pronounces the name. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Did they crank CERN up to 11 again? Like, what? Are we warping? Is it Berenstein Bears now? Back to Berenstein? But now it's Thunberry?
I swore I used to drive a red van. Why is it white?
When did I become Chinese? What's going on here? This is like Just imagine just switching races. Yikes!
I can't even go into Ruru Remen.
And we're canceled. Is it AA?
No, that's not me, dude. The owner of Ruru Remen said he named it Lululemon so Asian people couldn't say it because it was funny to listen to him say it.
And this is why I love America, people. This is the exact.
Oh, that's the American dream. Start a multi-billion-dollar business just to make fun of Asians.
I want to get paid for being racist. That's my goal. That's.
How do you think the railroads were built?
Oh my! We're not supposed to talk about that, man. Come on. It's off limits here. Do we have an AAPI month?
I think we did, but nobody cared.
Yeah, see, that's why. No more months. This should be the last.
It's
month,
the same reason we but with the Asians, it's the same reason we won't have like a Middle Eastern month because all those nations are at war with each other.
We'll never have Middle Eastern month because of 9/11. I think that'll be like that'll probably always be the stain for that one. But so
the fireworks are a little scarier.
Let's hear back. I'm very intrigued on Greta. What Thunberry has to say.
Sure.
She was the Thornberry's
the
autistic
crackdown
kid.
drew criticism from Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg, who spoke Thursday.
She becomes...
Frankie kid just dropped this on me, dude.
He becomes Dutch for 5 seconds. Thunberg. Greta Thunberg. This is like I'm a big fan of watching Master Chef, and they have Aaron. He's the Hispanic guy on there, and he always describes food. And anytime there's any kind of Hispanic-based ingredient, you got the we're putting a little a little lettuce, a little cheese on there. I noticed for a little spice, you added some cilantro. Okay, all right, yeah, I got you.
That's called the panty wetter. You know what I'm saying?
I guess maybe Amy's just tapping into her Dutch roots or whatever it is. Greta Thunberg.
To break the thermometer instead of worrying about the temperature, unquote. The crackdown drew criticism from Swedish climate activist Greta Thunberg, who spoke Thursday from Paris.
I can't help.
All over the world, we're experiencing this. Not the least.
How dare you?
For example, here in France, just the other day, that activists are being systemically targeted with repression and are paying the
20
price
years old, you still
for
can't
defending life and for the right to protest.
You might be right about that Down syndrome situation.
I know Down's titties when I see them, you know what I mean? I saw that Playboy.
Oh, God. So if you're wondering if Amy Goodman maybe just one-off accidentally misread the prompter, she's gonna double down, baby.
For defending life and for the right to protest.
Greta Thunberg was speaking at this week's summit for a new global financial pact in Paris, where climate activists are demanding world leaders mobilize trillions of dollars to finance a transition.
Like, I'm sure there's one thing we could definitely agree with Putin and Kim Jong-un. Let's just kill the fucking climate activists.
Oh, man, when will be the point that their predictions are wrong?
Oh, no, they've been wrong for decades.
Like Greta Thunberg.
They're always wrong. Dude, Al Gore, you told me we'd be burnt up alive by now.
I know.
I grew up thinking we were going to die because of you.
Did everyone forget about his inconvenient truth? You know, the only inconvenient truth is that whole movie and the entire tour that Al Gore went on was a publicity stunt, and he made $1 billion off of it. That's the inconvenient truth.
That was really the most inconvenient truth.
People don't want to realize that all these grifters like Greta Thunberg, they are milking this cash cow, and they're ripping people off and screwing us by restricting our freedoms further and further. It's these idiots that are responsible for the narrative being pushed that we got to give up our gas stoves and drive electric cars and turn off our air conditioning when it's 100 degrees out.
Oh, man, I got a great clip on gas stoves.
Oh, I've been waiting for this one. This has been on the docket for a while.
From NPR. No, it's so funny because we both have lists of clips we haven't played. I don't even know if I have time for it. Anyways, Oliver Stone's been making the rounds.
Oh, I'm a fan of the Oliver Stone. He's a controversial guy, much like Madonna and Sam Smith. Are you ready for some controversy?
Dude, he's doing videos coming out that he made about nuclear.
Oh,
I can't wait to see it. I've been liking these interviews.
About nuclear, you're talking nuclear energy, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the nuclear energy, actually. Yeah, man.
He's really pushing for it.
We need someone to.
Is one of the, it's finally like an answer.
Yes.
I keep trying to explain it. Like, okay, so let me get this straight. Nuclear energy. It's safe enough that we could build this little nuclear plant, put it in this metal tube, stick 1,000 sailors in there, and it's fine.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And they're in the submarine traveling around the ocean. And we've been doing this since like the 40s, 50s.
And the thing with waste is over. We have reactors and facilities now that reuse the waste. And it's like, there is no more. And Chernobyl, I hate to break it to you people out there, that was like 50 years ago. Like, we've kind of like...
And you're not telling me we can't tell me we're better than the fucking Russians? Soviets?
That's right.
I'm sure we could do better than the Soviets, dude.
It's just nuclear is at a new place, and time has evolved, and it's no longer Homer Simpson going to the nuclear plant.
No, Chernobyl is literally like, okay, in the 70s, Ford came out with the Pinto. We're never going to let Ford build cars again. You know what I mean? Like, no, okay, you know what I mean? Mistakes are always made.
So you got some Oliver Stone.
Fucking those 5 assholes died in that sub. I guarantee you, we're still gonna build subs that go to that fucking shipwreck. You know, it's like,
well, if only they had been in a nuclear sub, it would have been a much different scenario.
They would have been warmer.
Their teeth would have been whiter, no doubt.
Can we talk about white teeth? This is getting ridiculous.
Dude, some people's teeth, especially the TVs.
I mean, you're 90 years old. You got horse teeth that are fucking bright white.
The pearly whites.
Pearl white, dude. Come on.
I gotta say, the people at like the local newscasters here, and I'm sure it's everywhere, they're the ones who go over the top with the plastic surgery and the makeup and stuff. Dude, the white teeth are glowing, man. It's insane how white some people's teeth are.
I'd rather have my yellow chip teeth, man. They're my teeth. I'm not doing the veneers.
No,
you know
veneers,
what I mean?
that freaks me out, man. Yeah, all the rich folk, they rock the veneers,
weird.
man. It's a little strange. Yeah. Yeah, you look like you put in those fake clattering teeth.
We're going too far with it.
Yeah, we're going a little too far.
Listen, people, we are caring way too much about how we look. I would love to know, like, GDP percentage. How much do we spend just on appearance?
Well, I mean, like boob jobs, or what are you saying?
Everything. You know?
All right. So you're not going to rock us the Oliver Stone there?
I don't have any clips from Oliver Stone.
Oh, all right. You lied. Okay.
No, I said I got the clip on the gas stoves.
Oh, I thought it was Oliver Stone.
Although they are saying that like methane now is like the number. I don't know, man. That's so. You want to hear this clip?
Yeah. How long is it? Yeah. What do we got?
2 minutes. NPR. It's great.
Right, it might run us out. We'll go. We'll do it.
Let's do it.
So there's some new research that finds more than heat is coming off that blue flame. Stanford University researchers found gas stoves also emit benzene, which is linked to cancer. Jeff Brady from NPR's Climate Desk is here to explain. Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Ari.
Before we get to these specific findings, we are hearing a lot about gas stoves this year. Why?
They've become a part of the culture war with, conservatives claiming people want to take your gas stove away, and no one is saying that.
Yeah, they did it in New York.
But what's important is that there's a growing body of scientific research that shows gas stoves emit some harmful pollutants into homes, especially if you don't have a hood that vents outdoors, and if you don't use that hood every time, even if you're just boiling water.
So the latest addition to that research is this finding about benzene. What did scientists learn?
Well, Stanford researchers measured benzene from gas stoves in 87 California and Colorado homes last year. And they found both natural gas and propane stoves emit benzene, and that in some homes, benzene reached levels beyond what is found in secondhand tobacco smoke. Environmental scientist Rob Jackson at Stanford says researchers discovered pollution above what is considered safe.
And we found that in some homes, turning on one gas burner or the oven elevated levels of benzene above that safe benchmark level for as much as 8 hours at a time, not just in the kitchen, but in bedrooms down the hall.
So it lingers in the house. How dangerous is that?
It lingers.
It's important to have a little bit of perspective here. There aren't any studies out there that say, if you cook with a gas stove, you're going to get sick. This is all about increasing risks for illness. And with benzene, we're talking about serious diseases. Exposure is linked to leukemia and other blood cancers. And benzene from stoves may not be important in cities around the world with, really terrible air pollution, where you go outside and there are unsafe levels of benzene in the air. But the U.S. has done a lot to clean up air pollution in recent decades. So here, Jackson says the gas stoves could be one of the biggest sources of benzene in Americans.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I was seeing locally they were talking about leukemia being on the rise in Colorado because of gas stoves.
But he literally says there that the only reason it's a problem here is because we've cleaned our air. So our air is so clean that now our stoves are the biggest problem, and they're really not a problem compared to every other country in the world.
Yeah, I find this funny that you even have someone there with you who's in their 80s who's been operating 2 gas stoves in a house for 50 years.
2 in the house, 1 in the garage.
Living into their 80s, no problems. But now, all of a sudden, you just burn 1 gas stove once a day. You're all going to get leukemia and die. This is nonsense, man.
And then at the end, they admit that, like, just being in most countries in the world, the air is worse.
Yeah, so you don't notice the effects of your gas stove.
Because the air is so much worse.
Come on, dude. This is like... And by the way, we're not trying to take away your gas stove, but we're trying to tell you your gas stove is killing you. You gotta get rid of
it. we fucking marshmallowed your world so much that the stove is gonna kill you.
This must be, I really think, some sort of weird litmus test by the powers that be to try and see and gauge if the public is still listening or even taking what they're saying.
Oh, dude, everybody that's wearing a mask still, they're the ones that get rid of their gas.
Get rid of their gas stoves, going electric. Be safe.
If you got a neighbor wearing a mask, go ask them how much they want for their gas stove. You're gonna get it cheap. I'm telling you right now.
Tell them you'll even take it out for them. You know, don't worry.
Yeah. You know that pussy can't lift it? Of course you gotta take it out for him. You're worried about a gas stove. You ain't got the muscle capacity to lift that stove.
Oh, man, I can't believe this phenomenon. It's funny because we did a clip, it was probably 6 months ago, where they said, oh, folks, this is crazy. The Republicans are being nuts. We're not going to take your gas stove. And then New York 3 months later is like, okay, we're banning gas stoves, people. That's it. No more gas. We're all out. And we're going to do electric, and we're going to have rolling blackouts. So when that happens, you can't cook your food. Sorry.